Hello, amazing souls. Welcome back. I come to you today with this feeling of excitement, this feeling of rejuvenation. I see right now in the world, so many people are waking up. So many people are realizing that the path they have been on is not theirs. It was an inherited path. It was an agreement that was made from a way earlier place in life, and that is not in alignment with their soul, with their heart. And so they are now having the desire coming from deep within to do things differently. And this is why I created this channel, because that's what my life once was. And when I saw that happening, I took the leap. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know where life was going to take me, but I did have one thing, and that was trust. I trusted life. I trusted God, the universe, source. I knew that if I let go of what wasn't for me anymore, that something would come in to fill in the space. And that if I was open to receive, which I'll get into later, that I would get everything that I needed to support my path. And as long, because this is a big part of the game, as long as you hold your attention on that place, if you hold your attention on I'm receiving everything that I need to have the most enjoyable, expressive, passionate, beautiful, abundant, purposeful life that I can possibly have. Why would life choose you to be here to just suffer, to just walk around and be miserable all day, and to be just looping in the same thoughts, doing things the same way? This is the illusion that we're breaking free of, and we're doing this together. Our ancestors did not have the awareness, the knowledge, the tools that we have right now. This is one of the greatest awakenings that's probably ever happened on planet Earth. This is a prophesied time. This is written about all over the place in ancient texts. We're living in that time right now. And all we have to do is decide to pop out of the illusion and put our focus on who am I? Why am I here? Why was I born? What does life want from me? And not from an energy of, let's say, franticness or I need to know that. I must know that, because that's lack. No, it's a deeper inner knowing that you are life and you're opening up to your truth. And from that place, you already have everything that you need. And you allow that to come out. You allow yourself to be in a co-creative dance with life. I love you. What would you like today? Which you will get by what you place your attention on. The most challenging thing about this is that you're addicted and you're used to focusing on that which you fear. You're used to focusing on what you don't want. You're used to focusing on how shitty things are, how much you're struggling. That is an addiction. And that is what we get to let go now, today, not tomorrow, not next week when you're feeling better, not when the money situation's better. None of that. Throw all of it away and recognize that right now it's here. The opportunity is here to recognize the truth. What I place my attention on is what I will receive. This is a universal law. And if you work against the law, you will suffer the consequences of that. And I'm going to say religious terms, even though it's not that. Let's say the word sin. Oh, he said sin. Oh my God. Not in the context that you're maybe used to. Sin means missing the mark. And so I bring that up because if you're living outside of the law of the universe, you're sinning, you're missing the mark, and therefore you experience the consequences of that, which is guilt, shame, feeling like your life's a living hell, feeling frustrated, disconnected from yourself, seeing lack everywhere, being in your own limitations, which is the point that I made this video. We're going to talk about limitations today, and we're going to talk about a powerful question that you can ask yourself now that will help you to see the limitation game that you've been stuck in. Because the transition we're making, again, as I will say many times in this channel, you're going from little me, consumer caterpillar being that thinks you're the body and you're all the things from your past. And it's the small version of you, right? It's the human version. We're transitioning into the butterfly, into the spirit, knowing that you are an infinite, eternal creator, and that you are in a dance with life, and that you can create this the way that your heart wants to lead you to, not from the way that you inherited from society, your parents, the authority figures around you from when you were a kid. That all plays a part in evolution. But now the beauty is that we get to pop that bubble and decide what it is that we want to explore and what we want to go after. So a question that really helps with this, that might seem basic, but don't let it fool you. And maybe this is a question you haven't asked yourself before. To me, it's not one of those generic ones that you see on Instagram. It's almost like a little bit of a reverse engineering. It's asking yourself or saying to yourself, I can't have a life of abundance, a life of prosperity, where I have the money to do the things that I would like to do on the earth plane, where all my bills are paid and I'm enjoying myself. I can travel. I'm contributing to the planet. Okay, so there's that. Or it could be, I can't have loving, fulfilling, beautiful relationships because blank. So I can't have, and then put the thing on there that you're feeling you're lacking or something that you actually do want, and then say because, and then list out all of your limitations, all of the reasons that your logical, rational mind comes up with that says, here's why you can't have these things. And be honest with yourself. Don't bullshit. Don't, then nothing happens. Literally grab a pen and a piece of paper, and don't do this in your head. Actually write this out. I can't have these things because, and you might say, because my job, I'm working a 9 to 5, I don't have any time, because I'm addicted to toxic relationships that don't serve me, and I have codependency. Whatever it is, just list it all out, get it all out on paper and out of your mind, so that the real you can see the webs that you've been spinning in your internal matrix, how you've kept yourself trapped in this script, in this narrative that has nothing to do with you in this now moment as an infinite creator. It is a script that's being copy and pasted every day unconsciously, because that's what's been focused on for so long, right? And that's how we were taught to focus. And also, this is part of our survival programming, right? Where the amygdala is going off, the alarm bells, where it's trying to keep us safe. We're trying to stay in a place of familiarity and homeostasis, which we've become used to, being stressed and cortisol flushing through our system every day. Like, that's madness. But yet we've gotten used to it. We've become addicted chemically to that biology. Joe Dispenza talks about this all the time. We are breaking the habit of being ourself, the old self, the limited self, the caterpillar consumer self. You ever notice that? It's contradictory, right? I'm sitting here on a YouTube channel saying, stop consuming so much. And when I say that, I'm trying to offer you an invitation to not do what I did, which was I allowed videos like that I'm making right now and other incredible material that was inspiring and uplifting and informative. That was like my pacifier, my binky. When I wasn't feeling good, I would turn these things on, a podcast, YouTube video, whatever, to lift myself back up instead of facing the feeling that was trying to be seen and expressed and be healed. Instead of doing that, I was going to this stuff. Now, I remember we did a men's retreat in Mexico earlier last year, and we did a mushroom journey. And I, maybe you guys don't know that, but I do those with people. Life set that up for me, right? Like that's part of following your path. You never know what it's going to be. It's very interesting when you say yes and you just allow. So anyways, we had a journey. We were in Mexico, and one of the guys, which I had already known, he had a deep thing that he came there to purge and get rid of. And when the mushrooms kicked in and he was at that point of needing to feel that and release it and face it, what did he do? He went into his room and started reading the Kabbalah. And I noticed I hadn't seen this guy in a while, and everyone else is in front of me. And I'm like, where is this guy? And I go into his room. He's got a nightlight on his head and he's reading the Kabbalah. And instantly I was like, wow, that's what I do. Here I am looking at distractive, this distraction tactic that I do all the time. And now it's happening in front of me. And he does the same thing in the face of purging his biggest fear, the thing that he did not want to face. So I sat with him for a moment. We talked. I brought him out of the cave, back up into the space. We had a huge experience. He got it out. It was awesome. That's the story for another time. I bring that up because this is what we're doing as the consuming caterpillar. To get to your soul, you have got to confront the limitations. And that's why these questions are so useful, because they will show you the script you've been acting in. It's all about awareness, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about seeing very clearly what you've been playing out. And here's the next part of this video. Maybe you haven't believed in yourself for a long time. Maybe you've lost trust in yourself because you've broken your word. You haven't followed through on things that you said you were going to do. That was something that I had battled with for a long time, and it doesn't feel good. It allows that small part of you to get louder in saying you're not going to do that, which to me is the voice of the abandoned inner child, right? You say that you're going to take things to a new level. You're going to start having fun. You're going to start shifting your points of attention to places that feel good, which of course your inner child would love. It's like the dad telling his kids, we're going to go to the zoo tomorrow, and then you don't go to the zoo. And the inner child just gets so disappointed and let down. This is what we're doing to ourselves when we don't follow through on starting to create a more enjoyable life experience, right? So if you've been in that place where you haven't been trusting yourself, here's the problem with that. Here's the challenge. You're not going to trust other people. You're not going to trust life. And it all starts with you. If you don't trust you, if you don't have faith in you, you got nothing. And that's going to bleed into everything else. It starts with you. That's why it's so important to develop a self-esteem, a relationship with you that is so powerful, that is so rock solid, that it doesn't get shaken day to day like we're used to. No, the wounded parts of you, when you build this foundation, know that when stuff comes up, you're right here and you are going to look right at it. You're not going to distract yourself. You're going to bring your loving awareness to these things. And I can tell you that has such an impact. I'm doing this now, and I have been, where when shame comes in, and I mentioned this on my last video at the coffee shop, you better believe I'm right there, looking right at it, bringing all of my attention to it and saying, I love you. That's not dictating my experience anymore. That doesn't have space. That narrative does not get my energy other than my compassion and love, and then move forward, right? So it's so paramount to trust yourself, believe in yourself. You have gifts that were given to you that no one else has. Life put those in you and said, okay, go onto the earth and share and express these. You don't have to intellectually know what they are. You just have to keep yourself open to receive that which is already there. If you look at your life, those questions will be answered. What do you like contributing. For me, I always loved seeing people laugh. I always loved inspiring people. I always loved the feeling of empowerment. And I got that from motivational speakers because there was an era where that was like the thing. And I wanted to take it a step deeper and bring spirituality into it. And outside of the personal motivation, because that's like little me, to me that was very limited. And it's like, no, let's go bigger than that. Let's go cosmic. You're an infinite soul creating your reality, your experience, and come from that place, because that is a lot bigger, right? I can't, as Sean, do a whole lot, but when I have life pouring through me and I'm in alignment with nature, with the universe, miracles can happen. Anything is possible. My limitations are not in the way. And that leads me into my next point. I'm going to say Jesus. I'm bringing Jesus into this one. And again, not from a religious context. I hated church as a young kid. This is a whole other video that I'll do. I didn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't feel right when I was in the Catholic Church. My image of God was this man, judgmental man in the sky. It was this personification of the universe that I inherited from a religious lens. And I was a sinner and I had to go to confession, do all these things. I turned away from it. I left it. I disavowed it. And then later on in my life, I started to circle my way back. And a lot of us know about this. This is what a lot of people this is what's happening for them right now. And I realized that through studying all the different religions, Hinduism, Christianity, Jewish Kabbalah, all these different things, they're all branches of the same tree. They're all saying the same thing. Anyways, I look to the Bible and some of the things that Jesus said, this guy who 2,000 years later still has this massive impact on the planet, has a whole religion that people are following dedicated to him. To me, his teachings were timeless. And a few of the things that he said was that stuck out to me, and I want to bring into this video. Be still and know that I am God. I and the Father are one, made in the likeness and image of the Father. Not only in the Bible are these things mentioned, these similar sentiments are echoed in many of the ancient texts that I've combed throughout many years of study. They all talk about conviction. They all talk about knowing who you are. And when you're in a place of doubt, when you're in a place of maybe on the fence, you're not trusting yourself, you're not trusting life, you're disconnected. And guess what? You're the one that's creating that. You're deciding to play the game of being on the fence. When you know who you are, and you know that the kingdom of heaven is here, the blessings have all been poured out, it's your attention that creates and brings to life that which is already here. But our attention's been hijacked and it's been brought to all these places we don't want. So this is all about reclaiming your power and stepping into who you are as the infinite creator. The outside is simply the reflection. I've said that many times. You can either believe that or not. But I will tell you this, when you do believe it, you will see it start to move. When you shift your attention and you say, this is the way it will be, this is where my focus is going now, and you take it off of the problems and the limitations and the shitty old script that you're used to playing out, and you be patient with yourself and you give yourself kindness and grace through the process, everything will change. You will notice your outer reality shift. The things that are not you will be stripped away. Relationships will dissolve and go away. This is you going up levels in your building, as I mentioned in the last video. This is you raising your consciousness and expanding it, which brings with it an entirely new experience. The question then becomes, well, why are people so afraid of their power? Why are people so afraid to embrace who they really are and would rather stay in a place of suffering, lack, limitation, and apathy, resignation, settling for so much less than what they could ever imagine, being okay with mediocrity and barely getting by, just thinking, oh, that's what it's going to be for the rest of the time I'm here. And then you get on your deathbed and you're like, oh shit. Right? How many times has that happened? How many stories of that have we heard? But yet we don't really do anything with it. Remember, y'all, this is free choice. You can play out the shitty reality that you inherited, which has nothing to do with you. There's so many unresolved aspects of trauma and abuse from your ancestors that are in your DNA, your family lineage. And you have the choice to either play that out and have no say in the matter and play your ancestors' game of lack and fear and limitation, or you say, I'm not doing that. And you feel what needs to be felt. You see the distortions for what they are, and you come back to the knowing of yourself. And that is where things get exciting. But to do this, you have to let go of the addiction. To move up the floors, you've got to let go and put at the altar your addiction to smallness, to doubting yourself, to fighting against life and condemning and judging yourself and those around you. All of that has to be purified and let go of. When you go to the higher octave, you can't take the heavy shit with you. It's just not possible. It weighs too much and it keeps you bound into the basement, right? The invitation here is let's all get out of the fucking basement. Let's all rise together and help each other to empower those around us to go up, to say, hey, the views up here are fucking epic. Take a look. Come on up here. Keep in mind, you don't go down into the basement with them and say, oh, I'll be here with you because I don't want you to be by yourself. No, 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 no. That gets you nowhere. I used to do that all the time. And I didn't realize that it kept me locked into that consciousness. No, 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 no. You are on the upper floor and you extend your hand down and you say, hey, here's the invitation. Experience this with me. See what it's like. And if they choose, they will grab your hand and come up with you. Some people need to stay down there for a while longer and get to a level of suffering that finally propels them back into the light. So never bring yourself back down there. I don't care how much you love that person. You don't go down there with them. You stay in your power and in your light, and you keep going up and you offer the hand for them to choose or not. Very, very important point. So conviction. Conviction is the language of this reality. When you know who you are and you command what it will be and you keep your attention there, that is what you will get. So what if today you let go of the story that you were addicted to that does not serve your life? What if today you said, I'm done with that. I'm all done. I'm here to know who I am. Spirit, universe, source, show me all of who I am. I'm here and open to receive it now. When I did this, when I was living out of my car, I was so steeped in shame where I didn't want to burden anyone else because of the choices that I had made. I was so closed off to receiving. I didn't realize that all the characters are just other faces of God, of the universe. We're all supporting one another. We're all playing different roles at different times. And I cut all of that out to be in my own little pity party. Look at me. I can't, like, I remember cursing the universe, being like, I took a chance and look what you did. I'm in my car now. This is the worst it's ever been. Why did I do this? And I wanted to run back to the old life and get safety again. But I also didn't want to ask for help because I had too much shame. And I didn't want to be seen in that shame, and I didn't want anyone else to have to take that on. And the second that I opened up to receive life and I said, okay, I need help, I'm open to receive what you got for me. And I allow the characters in this movie to play their roles to help me at the point where I need help, because we will all have those points at different times. And you'll also be someone that helps people at different times, back and forth. I was then living at the beach. I was living in a 3-story building less than a mile from a beautiful beach in Southern California. And I just had to laugh at that. It was like, it almost instantly when I opened up, that happened. And then I made the choice of, I'm done living out in my car. That's not who I am. That's not my story. Found a house in San Diego at a beautiful property like 2 weeks later. This is what I'm talking about. When you are done with that story and you open up to receive and you ask for what you need, not from a place of please help me, like I don't know what I'm doing, like I need, like that's lack. Not, you're not asking from lack. You're asking from, I know who I am, and I know I'm opening up to an incredible, beautiful story that is authentic to me and to what life created me as. And I'm going to allow life to support me now. I'm going to allow life, the characters, everything that I need to come to me, because I know who I am. I know that I am life itself. And therefore, this is my inheritance. Another thing they talk about in the Bible and other texts. This is your inheritance. This is, you're the prodigal son or daughter, right? You venture out away from the kingdom, from truth, from knowingness. You go into the dark so you can get that experience of like, okay, well, that's not it. And then you get the joy of coming back home, and there's a celebration waiting for you always. No judgment. This is part of the experience, and this is what's happening for us right now. Know who you are. Bring conviction in the same way that when you order a package from Amazon and you know it's coming at the end of the week, or maybe next day now, you know, it's, you don't even think about it. You hit the button, you know it's on the way. You start to have that level of certainty in life. And when I say certainty in life, I mean you know that the things that you're asking for and what you're creating, it's here, it's done. And then you can go to the next thing and you just keep creating, and you stay relaxed. You stay in the enjoyment, a place of receptivity. Rest in peace is not for the dead. It is for the living. Things got turned around backwards. Rest in peace is the covenant with you in life, where you can receive all that you need, because you will not receive that when you're stressed out and you're freaking out and your brain is in beta mode and it's moving in beta waves. If there's too much interference, you're locked into your reasoning mind, you're disconnected from that place. Rest to receive. Be peaceful. That's why meditation, walks in nature, anything that allows you to feel that sensation of rest, give that to yourself. I'm going to go into these things in another video. I said what I've wanted to say for now. And remember, ask that question, and maybe even have a friend of yours ask you that question. Okay, Bill, you can't have a beautiful life that you're in love with, that you're psyched to wake up to every day, because why? And just see what comes out. Allow that script to come out into the now space so that you can see it for what it is. And you're like, oh shit, I don't like that script. Why am I doing that? And from that point, start to write what you desire it to be. How can I contribute to the good of life, to the good of humanity, to the good of this planet? Start right now. Create some smiles on people's faces today. Open to life. Give some compliments. Send some text messages that make people feel good. Speak your truth. Do things that you enjoy. Smile at people when you walk down the street. Kind acts of service. When you start to do these things, watch what happens. That's when you're in the game. That's when you're on the field, in the arena, participating, and you're contributing to making the world a better place. And then life will give you more ways to do that, because that's where your attention is. My name is Sean, and I'm honored to be here on this journey with you, helping you to follow your path as I walk my own. We're just getting started. Let's go, let's grow, and let's flow. I'll see you next time. Peace.